MMA fans, Carla Prusa MMA back again, and I'm with a very familiar face, a friend of the show. He's Walla, he is the machine, he is Malcolm Wellmaker, and his moment is coming, ladies and gentlemen, August 27th. Malcolm Wellmaker fighting on the Dana White Contender Series. Malcolm made the announcement about a week ago or so. Long time coming for you. Could you believe it when you finally got the words that, hey, your time's coming?
Yes and no, man, because, I fought in January, and my manager, Jason House, he reached out to me, told me he was so happy with the way everything was going, and he told me just wait because the next phone call is going to be a big one. And, I waited, and I had faith, so yes and no. It's like I expected it, but to actually get it and him to say Dana White's Contender Series, man, it's mind-blowing. It's surreal.
That last contest against Chase Boutwell, you fought through some adversity there, and you picked up a great finish. Do you think you needed a fight like that before you take this next step?
Absolutely, man. It was a lot of things in that fight that were more technical than anything. It wasn't as much of a dogfight as the fight I had with Taylor Moore. That one really challenged me as far as who I was as a fighter, but that fight was really good for me to go in there, get technical reps, and show that I can knock out a guy that has a really good game plan for me.
And now, in a perfect world, what would you like to do with this opportunity?
First round knockout. UFC, I get in there right after that and get a $50K bonus when I get my contract, man, and just storm the bantamweight division in the UFC, man. Make Dana White stand up and put his hands together when he see what I do.
You have quite a bit of time before this, obviously. It's like a few months here before you're going to fight in the Contender Series. Is this training camp going to be any different like others, or are you just trying to keep this very similar?
Pretty similar to most. The conditioning, we've been changing up a little bit. Strength training, we've been changing up a little bit. But that's just the small intricacies of the actual training. But the actual regimen itself, the structure of it itself, pretty similar to what we've been doing. It's been really successful, and we'll have a particular game plan for our opponent. So that's it.
You're really close with all your Flagler teammates. Oh, yeah. You guys are really a family. Absolutely. You can tell by just looking at you guys. How important is it for you to go to, you're at every event. You support basically every time your teammates fight. You're there. You don't have to be if you don't want to. Why do you choose to do it?
Because it makes this so much more fulfilling and so much less, superficial, man. When you only fight for the accomplishments and you only fight for the trophies and the social status, it doesn't last as long. But when I have a friend that needs me outside of the gym and I help him, get through a real dark time, and the next day we get on those mats and we train our heart out, it means so much more than just a transactional relationship. And that's why I treasure these bonds I have with all my teammates. And I'm going to go to every fight forever. You know what I mean? As long as I can go, I'll be there.
You've been on this journey for a little while, but it's kind of crazy to think you've only been a pro for, 2 years, 2.5 years? You're still slow in your pro career. And, one thing we talked about before, your coach did a wonderful job of holding off and waiting until you turn pro. You've had a multitude of amateur fights. Do you think that is really paying dividends right now?
Absolutely, man. I remember being amateur. I was 9-1 in MMA, and I had kickboxing bouts under my belt. And I watched all these guys who went pro after me. Go pro before me. That went at me after me actually started competing. And I was like, a little bit of jealousy, a little bit of envy. You know what I mean? And I'm just like in my head about it sometimes. But I trusted the process. And when we did go pro, 2 years, less than 2 years time of actual competition in the pros, and we did everything we needed to do to secure a contract with Dana White. So it definitely paid off. We blazed it, man.
I don't believe a location has been announced for the Contender Series yet. If it is in an Apex environment, I'm not sure. I don't think you've ever fought in front of limited fans. Mm-hmm. Do you think that's going to really matter? Are you excited about it?
All that matters is that Dana White sees what I can do. You know what I mean? I don't care if he could be, on a couch and we could be in a living room. That it doesn't even matter. That's all I'll be really caring about. And when I'm in actual competition, man, you could hear a pin drop and it'd be fine to me because the only voices I'm hear is my corners. So I'm there to do a job, whether it's in front of hundreds of people, thousands of people, streamed or not. It doesn't matter to me. I'm gonna be there and I'm gonna make Dana White stand.
All right, last question for me. You've been at this journey for a while now. We've always talked about the sacrifices that it takes to be a mixed martial artist. You're a pipe fitter. You do a very tough job. You're working 5 days a week. You're staying up late at night to train. Then you're waking up early to do work. You've had pro fights. Obviously, you're not making millions of dollars quite yet. The money's limited. What would a win in a contract mean to you?
Man, it's dreams turning into reality. I mean, if you look at a kid that has posters of Michael Jordan on his wall and getting the phone call that he's going to be in the NBA draft, I mean, that's literally what my life is right now. You know, I have posters of Conor McGregor on my wall at home, you know what I mean? Back when he was fighting in the featherweight division, much different guy. But, you know, I looked at those posters and I watched all of his highlights, and I just fantasized about, man, what could it be like if my life was like that? And I literally am one fight away from it, 15 minutes of competition away from being able to live that life. And it's insane, man. So it's a life-changing thing, and I get to possibly be one of those people that literally get to say I accomplished my dreams. So it's big.
Malcolm, my man, I wish nothing but the best. Excited for the fight.
Thank you.
That's Malcolm Wellmaker. I'm Carl Prusa. Stick around.